Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Local Joe. Tuning in here for the Local Joe Show. A little bit different format than maybe you're used to. This week I had no excuses. I'm about to give you a bunch of excuses, but basically I had some hiccups with the filming. One of the people I filmed, we're just gonna redo it. So that was supposed to go out this week. So that one's gonna get postponed to a future date. Um, so I did actually get one done today, though. Although it's a few days late, I'm gonna make this one for this week. Yeah, looking forward to it. It was a great interview. I actually already did the interview a little bit ago, and Malek Z is who we did. Yeah, it's great. And Malek gives us some great advice for starting out. He's a newer agent. He just started last summer and he's killing it. And he kind of tells us how he's killing it and what he's doing to make himself so successful. So, yeah, that's great. I didn't have a ton of the other stuff that I typically do. I did have it actually, but it was like for the wrong time. So because now it's the stuff I had was information from last week. So I will touch a little bit. Just I know you guys are all dying to hear how I've done it, how we did in hockey last week. Uh, let's start with that. Last week we had our double game. We needed to win the first game in order to make it to the final championship game. So it was really exciting because we were playing a team that was kind of coming up through the ranks. We were in second place, they were in third place, trying to catch us. They had won like 3 or 4 games in a row, including beating the first place team, who was undefeated prior to that. Uh, but we were able to beat them, which was great. The thing that kind of stunk about it a little bit was the first game was at 4 p.m. and then if we won that game, we had to have another game, which was an intense game because we were trying to win. We had to play again at 7 and play the champs, the number one team. We did play them. It was a great game. We ended up losing. I got a little battle scar here. That's where I smashed into the boards and cut my forehead. Uh, and yeah, it was a pretty good game for me. I actually scored our only goal, so that was great. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. They won 2-1. Um, I did have my family in the stands, and according to my dad, we were robbed. We had a goal that, and even the goalie told me, the other team's goalie told me in our locker room. I play with him on Mondays. He said, "Yeah, I think that you guys actually scored," and my dad said the same thing, that the puck was across the line, but they didn't give us the goal, and they called the play dead. So that kind of stunk. Not sure if we really won or not. It doesn't really matter at this point. It's over. I do know if we won or not. We lost, but in reality, I think we probably should have been at a tie and whatever. So neither here nor there. It was a great season. My first time playing on a team, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm going back next season to play again. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Westland hockey. If anybody's interested, men's over 50. Great time. Sunday evenings. Let me know if you're interested in playing that. Yeah, and if you guys ever want to get a hold of me, Local Joe, I'm basically Local Joe Farmington Hills on all of the socials. You can find me there. Reach out to me, DM me, whatever. Uh, if you ever have any questions or any concerns, or you just have a topic you want to hear about, or maybe you want to be a guest on my show, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. And yeah. As far as like local news and things like that, off the top of my head, I don't have any great local news to be honest with you. Typically, I look into that a little more and pay attention and write it down as I'm going through the week. But like I said, I'm kind of a little bit out of it this week. Um, what we're gonna do is just jump right into it with Malik here. So Malik, like I said, we're really excited to have him. He's a great kid. Really showing what you can do when you're 18 and you just do a lot of hard work and be consistent. So, looking forward to that and enjoy the show. And I'll talk to you guys after the interview with Malik. Thanks. All right, everybody. How you doing? It's Local Joe here. I'm sitting with my good friend Malik. Malik Z. Some of you might be familiar with Malik. He's definitely been on social media and a few other things. And his father is Mark Z. So I'm sure a few people have maybe even seen you over the years. We were going to talk a little bit about where they might have seen Malik over the years. So
Yep.
Malik, thanks for joining me today. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Joe, for
Yeah.
having me. I appreciate it.
So uh, we've been bringing on some people that were more experienced agents. One of the reasons I wanted to bring Malik on is because he just started doing real estate last summer, right?
Yep, last summer, late June.
Yeah, exactly. So, and he's been able to be very successful at putting deals together. And we're going to just kind of talk a little bit about how he's done that and what he's been able to do and how he's doing it. So, but before we get to that, we're going to go a little bit into Malik's past and give you a little bit of info about Malik and where he came from and what's that all about. So,
Yep.
I know the first time I ever saw you before was on a commercial years ago with your dad. So,
Yep.
do you want to talk a little bit about that? About how how did you get into the commercial, and then was that something that people brought up to you like growing up? Was that
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the commercials were like a big part of my life growing up and my childhood. Like we'd go out and people would come up to us and recognize us and be like, "Oh, you guys are the kids from
yeah?
the commercial." Um, but
My
yeah,
dad will sell your house. In case you guys don't know the commercial, right? That was
yeah,
the kind of the line. Right?
exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people would recognize me from that. So yeah,
Yeah, and it was pretty cool because Malik and I actually got to work. So I worked for Mark prior to coming here, helping him take care of his properties, and to be honest, I was a little nervous because he's like, "Yeah, well, my son's gonna come help you. He'll do this," and I'm thinking like, "Oh, great, the boss's son's gonna help me," that kind of thing.
yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised when Malik showed up. He's one of the hardest workers I've seen. Not
Thank
only
you.
that, he's intelligent and he knows how to get stuff done properly, and he doesn't cut corners and all that stuff. The kind of thing you would want from any good worker, right? So I really appreciated that, and I enjoyed working with you the whole summer. So that was
Yeah,
great.
it was a great experience as well. Yeah,
Yeah, and
I'm really because who knew that we were gonna be in the office together
right
too? Like,
later on, yeah. So it's great, and here we are on the podcast together now. So it just
absolutely.
keeps growing, right?
Yep.
So the other thing that impressed me too was you were also involved in sports and things like that. Do you want to?
Yep.
I'm going to give you a little chance to brag here. I know you did. You were on some great teams, and you did some
Yep.
also individual stuff with your wrestling and stuff. So
Yeah.
why don't you tell us? Let's start with wrestling. So
Gotcha. Yeah. So I graduated last year in May, but in high school, I started wrestling my sophomore year. I was on the JV team that year, and then when we got to my junior year, I qualified for states for wrestling. I grinded all summer long. When I was working with Joe, actually, in the mornings, during summertime, I had football, conditioning, and working out. And then right after football, I'd go straight to work. Me and Joe would be doing the construction, landscaping, renovating, stuff like that. And then after that, I had wrestling practice right after work that I'd drive straight to. So those whole junior and senior year summers were a complete grind. So junior year, I qualified for states for wrestling. And then senior year, I placed in states for wrestling. And then for football, I started my junior and senior years at left guard, and we won the state championship my senior year for football. And then once I turned 18 in March last year, March 30th, and I actually just recently turned 19, but I started taking my real estate course, and then once I graduated school, I really locked in for that, started studying, got my license late June, and that's when I started.
So I was kind of surprised. I didn't know you were going to go into real estate when I know you were going to college, right, to be a
Yeah.
dentist. And so what was it that made you kind of decide to get into real estate? I know obviously your dad's been a big influence and he's been in real estate all these
Yeah.
years, but was it something that how did you get what made you decide to do it?
Yeah, honestly, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I hated the construction, the renovation, and the landscaping stuff. Working outside, it's not for me. I know it's for some people, but I have a lot of respect for those people that
Yeah,
actually do
it's tough
do
work.
those things.
It's
It
hot,
is tough work.
cold,
Yeah,
all that stuff, right?
yeah, it's tough. And not only that, but real estate's kind of always been in my mind. I'm actually in the 7-year dental program at Detroit Mercy right now as well. So I'm full-time college student as well as I'm doing real estate right now. But I got into real estate. I mean, it's in my blood. So
Yeah, it's definitely been around you your whole life, right? Even
yeah,
your
absolutely,
grandpa also does some real estate stuff, so like
exactly,
your
yeah,
family's really kind of real estate related. So,
yep,
but I know your mother, right?
yep,
She's wants you to finish dental school, like that.
yeah.
That's her main goal, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. I'm definitely going to finish dental school, and my end goal is to become a dentist. But that definitely doesn't mean I can't kill it right now as an agent.
right,
So
and you are killing it, right? So that's what
yeah,
let's kind of
absolutely.
talk a little bit about that. So,
one of the things that was really impressive to me was last summer Malek came in here and he just like he did when he worked with me, just grinded on the phone. So why don't you go into a little bit about kind of how many calls it takes to, to put a deal together? How many calls do you make a week? You figure
Yeah.
typically, or how does
So
that work?
I mean, typically it's my hours are kind of limited right now,
Yeah,
but
let's go back to summer. How
yeah,
much were you doing in the summer when you
exactly.
weren't
Yeah.
in
So in
school?
summertime when I first came in here, I mean with the training with the team, I mean we had trainings every single day. So I personally started calling a week into getting trained,
Okay.
and I think the best way to learn is to just dive right into it
Right.
and just get on the phones. And when I first started, I was calling all day long. Like I didn't have any deals to work
Yeah.
on. I didn't have any appointments to go on.
That's what you're
So
supposed to do, right?
exactly, yeah. So I was just calling all day long, and I had seen a lot of success in that because one of the things we have here is we have this thing called the buyer's pond where we get an influx of leads from all the marketing that we do, and so that's something that we really tapped into, and I really grinded. And within my first month, I was already closing a double dip deal um, within my first month. So not
So
only
double
that,
dip, just so people that
oh,
don't know
double
what
dip,
that
yeah.
is.
So
Yeah.
I handled the buyer side of the deal and the seller side of the deal.
Perfect.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I saw success right away, and for some people that's not the case. But I think that's because they don't necessarily apply themselves as much as they possibly can. I think that if you really put in the hours of calling
Yeah.
and learning, just in a constant state of learning and having the right people around you, because when I was calling, I wasn't calling by myself in the corner.
Right.
I was calling in front of other people in the office that would constantly give me pointers, what to say, the tonality, the shifts
All of
and
it, right? All
and
the
speed
different.
of the talking and everything like
I was
that.
going to mention that because Chad had mentioned that when you were first calling, that you were asking a lot of questions, right? Like every
Yeah,
5 minutes, like, hey, Chad, what do I do if this happened?
yeah.
And so that is part of the great part about being on a team and just be surrounded by people that have
Absolutely.
all
I
that
mean, I had
experience.
so many great resources, and um, when I first started out, the first month, Chad probably hated me, but I would blow up his phone, and he'd always answer right away to help me with whatever I needed.
Yep.
And I think and not only Chad, but Megan and any other agent on the team,
Right.
everyone.
Everybody here is
It's
very.
like a village here. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a kid?
Yep.
I think it's the same thing in real estate. I think it takes a village to raise a good real estate agent. If you
For
want
sure.
success as fast as possible, I think that's the only way.
Just
To
getting tips
truly,
from all the pros, right? And like
exactly.
just
I
taking
mean,
a little bit of each thing. And
yeah,
yeah, that's why I love being on the team. It's just access to all these people and all the knowledge.
absolutely.
So okay, so you're cranking out some calls and you're starting to see a little success.
Yeah.
How's what was the next step then? So how many calls do you think you were making back in the summer? Like, just kind
Yeah.
of give a little bit of an example so people understand how much. Because I think people underestimate. They see the success, right, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he was making calls," but they don't understand how many calls. So let's just
Yeah.
take 1 month. How many calls do you think you'd make in a month in the summer? Uh,
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you in a month, but I know I was making because my goal every day would be 300 calls
okay,
a
so
day.
there, that gives
Yeah.
you.
So I mean, and when I'm calling, I'm
Yeah.
not just calling the person once either. I think a big thing to that helped an immense amount was double dialing people, triple dialing people,
Okay.
because
The first
that's
time they don't pick up.
exactly. I mean, think about yourself. If you get a call from a random number, you might not pick it up.
Yeah.
But if they call you twice, then you're like kind of concerned, like, who is this?
Yeah.
If they call you 3 times, then you're like, okay, I
This
might need
be
to
an
answer this
emergency,
call.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it
So
was. It was Mallet calling. That's an emergency.
exactly. Yep. And I think, yeah, probably 300 calls a day I was making back in the summertime. But
Okay.
now that I'm in school, obviously my hours are limited. So I am a full-time student. I take 15 credits right now. I have labs and other classes, science related. So I'm in school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I also have a lab on Thursday. So when I'm not in my labs, I'm going on appointments after school. Like yesterday, I had an appointment right after my lab. And don't tell my dad this, but I was actually late to my lab because I was on an appointment. Yeah, it ended up working out though. But yeah, anytime that I'm not at school, I'm in the office working, taking calls on appointments,
Did you get
anything
that
that I
listing
can.
yesterday?
I got the listing, yeah,
Nice.
400,000 too, and a
Nice.
great price, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So Malik is just a great example of if you just kind of do what the team tells you to do. You know, they give us such great instructions here, and they tell you exactly how to succeed. And a lot of people try to like make it their own or whatever. They take the
Yeah,
script and they change it, right? Because they
exactly.
know better. And Malik just followed exactly what they said, and it's just
Yeah,
working out. Right?
exactly. I mean, in my view, like I don't see why you would even try to change something that other people have used and it's proven to
It's
work.
proven to work,
You
right?
know, and I see all these people like trying to use like ChatGPT to like make the best script or
Yeah,
like the best follow-ups. But in reality, like nothing's better than learning from the people who are actually in the field, in the trenches, doing
successful
that
also,
work,
right? At it,
successfully
yeah.
doing it.
Not just
So
people that, especially nowadays, you have so many people that are gurus or whatever, right? That are
exactly.
experts, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. um, so why don't you tell us, like, do you know how many deals you've done since you started, or is
So
there too many you can't even keep track anymore?
yeah. So I know last year, so I started in late June, so that's about like 6 months into the
Okay,
year. I closed 3 million last year in
nice.
volume. I don't know specifically how many transactions that was, but I know this year, last month in February. Oh, it's April now, but in
Yeah.
February I pended 1.3 million.
Okay.
In March, I don't know how much I did. I really I can't
That's
tell
good
you.
though.
I
That
mean,
means you're closing deals.
yeah,
You're
I
so
never
many you
really
can't
look
even
at my
keep track.
numbers to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't even really look at my numbers because honestly, I think what I think is success is the biggest enemy of success.
Yeah.
Like once you get comfortable and you start thinking, "Wow, I'm doing so good,"
Right.
then that's when you start to let off the pedal. And I've seen myself even do that.
Right.
Like when I've had these great months, and then I start to be comfortable and let myself off, and then I see like yeah, and I think that's a common theme with a bunch of agents as
Yeah,
well,
for
and it's
sure.
something that I need to work
It's a
on
little
myself.
hard too because sometimes you start getting deals and it takes time to do that stuff, and you
Exactly.
kind of lose the prospecting time a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I think the important thing you said there is don't care about how many are pending. You still care about your calls, right? You're still trying to
Exactly.
make those 100 calls a day. That's kind of the way you get the pendings. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's awesome. So one of the things that you've been doing recently was putting together, and so this is kind of help you guys out if you're going on listing appointments. Malik put together what he calls his listing toolbox. So
Yeah.
could you kind of share a little bit about what kind of things you put into that listing toolbox that helped you get these listings?
Absolutely. So, so the kind of backstory to that toolbox is, I went to I went on a listing appointment, right? I didn't get it, and of course, if you're getting every listing appointment, you're not going on enough listing
Yeah.
appointments. So I went to my dad about it, and I told him kind of the story of what happened. Right, the person asked me, "Oh, what homes have you sold in the area?" And I didn't. I was telling him like, "Well, we sell so many homes in the area," but these people, when you meet with them, these clients, they already know. They're thinking in their head, you're the master salesman. So
Right.
they don't believe a
They
word
don't.
that
Yeah.
you
You got
say.
to show them
You
proof.
got to show them
Right.
proof. And as well as when we were talking about pricing, um, when I was trying to tell him maybe a different strategy would be listed below market value and we drive the price against people bidding each other.
Yep.
You can't just tell them these things. You have to actually show them and show
That
them
it's happened.
proof
Yeah.
and the facts that it's happened and we've done it before. So this agent toolbox is something that my dad said you gotta have, and I've seen huge success with it. Just last night, I went on this listing appointment and we got to the pricing part, and we were talking about the three different pricing strategies: listed high, listed at market value, or listed slightly below to drive
Okay.
up activity and price. At first, he told me, "Oh, I don't want to list it a little bit lower because that kind of shows I'm desperate." So that's when I pulled out the toolbox. And what the toolbox is, I have 25 listings that our team has sold that have sold above asking price,
Okay.
significantly above asking price. So 25 printed out from our team that when we got to that pricing part, I literally pulled out all 25, went through each one until the client was like, all right,
All
I've
right.
had enough, like I see it. And so it was right there in his face. Like he
It's
can't
hard to
deny
ignore,
that.
right? Yeah.
Exactly. He can't deny that it works because we've done it. And here's the exact proof listed here, sold here,
Right.
And then as well as if they want to list it high, right? I also have 25 listings from our team that is picked out of homes that we listed high and we ended up selling for way lower.
Okay.
And some people might think, oh, like you shouldn't show that from your team that you sold for lower. But what I think is if you tell the client, these are clients that didn't necessarily listen
to you,
to
right?
our strategy that we've done before, like you've seen here, then this is what ended up happening.
Yeah.
So it's just
And it
these
is
client
hard.
testimonials.
Yeah, because the clients don't sell houses every day, right?
Exactly.
So like they don't understand totally, and then they're kind of used to going to the store and seeing the price, and the price is the price, and you just
Yep.
right. So yeah, I think it's cool that you do that because honestly, we're there to guide them, and we know kind of what
Exactly.
works, and you just have to prove to them that it works.
Exactly.
So getting them to trust you, and especially when you're just first meeting them. So
100%.
I think that's great. So, are there any other things you keep in your toolbox? What else? Or
So-
is that pretty much it?
No, so also, so as well as the listings we sold above asking and the listings we sold below asking, I also print out any homes that our team has sold in the area.
Okay.
So if they ask, for example, oh, what have you sold in the area, like that client did, that I didn't have that proof to show him,
Right.
I pull out that packet. Look, these are all the homes that we sold in the area. As well as another thing, I pull out it included with the homes that have sold below asking. I have the timelines of when they dropped the price as well. So I tell them, look, this is when they dropped the price after it's been sitting on the market. But those,
is that how you work your way into maybe a price adjustment conversation? Do you talk about that
exactly
in the listing agreement?
Yeah. So normally, if they tell me like, oh, I want to list it high, I always tell them, look, what I do is if we don't have one showing every day for the first 7 days, then the market's rejecting our price.
Right.
And we have to adjust to the market before the market adjusts to us.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. So the listing toolbox, I love that, and that's been successful for you. So
I've seen huge success with it.
Right, and the one thing I like about too, like even though you've been almost for a year now, you are a newer agent, right? So you don't have deals in every city. So when you go somewhere, so that's the other great part about being on a team, right? Because we have sales, our team has sales that you can say are ours, and they're not lying or anything. But it's not necessarily your deal, but
yeah.
So I think that's important too.
100%.
The great part about being on a team.
Absolutely.
So the one thing I was thinking about today was with EXP being able to do the agent attraction. So I remember, didn't you had one friend that you brought here?
Yep,
right?
I actually have 2 recruits under me right now.
Okay,
yep.
Great. So that's
and one of them actually just got a listing. So.
Awesome. So yeah, and then being at your age, I can just imagine the kind of downline you could build over the years, right?
100%. Yeah, because especially at my age, like all these people are coming right out of high school. A lot of kids my age don't know really what they're going to do with their life, and it's understandable. So what I try to do is I try to just influence and motivate people, and if real estate is something they're thinking about, I mean, I'm the guy to help them out, you know. And
so how do you influence and?
Yeah, so I've started. I used to post a lot on social media, but now I've kind of toned it down a little bit. I've been super busy with school and everything like that. But when I started posting on social media, I've seen all these kids my age reaching out, like, oh, like how do I get into this? You know, how do I get into this? And if you just show that it's possible, then people are going to be interested in how to do it. And it really
your videos are great too. I like watching them. They're motivational, and like for a kid your age, the stuff that you're saying is really advanced as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of people don't figure the stuff out that you're talking about for years, you know.
Yeah.
So that's really great. And then you're able to spread that to your friends and all that too. So that's awesome.
Exactly.
The one thing I wanted to mention too was you also did a flip this year, right?
Yeah.
So how did that work out for you, and how did that come about? And what
so we actually got this flip from my headmaster at my high school.
Okay.
My old headmaster. It was his parents' home. Where
did you go to
down
school
to him. St. Mary's. I went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Gotcha.
Yep. And it was passed down to him. So we took the house, and it actually ended up not working out as we expected. You know,
a lot of times that happens, right?
A lot of times that happens, and it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You know, some things go unexpected.
You mean the things you see on social media are not true about you just flip this house and you make $100,000 like nothing?
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it ended up not being the greatest deal, but it still worked out. It was a great learning experience for me. I mean, just like going through the process of dealing with contractors and just everything leading up to the home, leading to the sale of the home, and everything like that. I mean, the experience that I've gained, even though it didn't work out,
Yeah.
was worth it in the end,
So
even
would
if
you
it
do some
wasn't.
more in the future? Do you have
Yeah,
plans to?
absolutely.
Didn't scare
I'm
you away or anything?
yeah. Right now with school and everything, it's getting harder
Right.
to tap into that.
Maybe in
But
the summer
in
or
the
something like that.
summertime,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be getting back into that for sure.
If you don't have a million listing appointments, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, is there anything you wanted to talk about that we didn't kind of cover? Obviously, I was, a lot of times I ask, well, what brought you to the team? But I kind of know what brought you to the team, right?
Yeah, I mean,
If you would have went to another team, you would have been in big trouble.
yeah, I don't know. Might not have a place to live anymore.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah, but I don't really have anything else to talk about. I think we like covered
Yeah, we
everything.
covered
That was
most
pretty
everything.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming out today,
yeah,
and
of course,
look forward to working with you in the future
of
and
course.
seeing all your success. I'm really proud of you. You do a great job, and you're a really good person. So
Thank you.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you taking the
I
time today.
appreciate you too.
All
Yeah,
right,
have a
everybody.
good one.
Thank you, Malik. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me and share your keys to success and why it's great to be on the team and what you can do if you really put your mind to it and stay consistent and just do what you're supposed to do. So just follow the rules, right? Do what Chad says is what our manager likes to say. So, anyways, we're gonna just kind of end it there today. Normally I do my local Joe to go, whatever. So local Joe to go this week. I will give you one thing, one thought to think about. It's just like be happy. So that's my only thought for the week. I feel like you kind of create your own reality all the time. So it's up to you whether you want to be happy or you want to be sad. What are you focusing on? The good things or the bad things? You can see two sides of every coin. And I suggest you look to the happy side. So take that. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.